When playing Minecraft, you might be building, mining, crafting, and fighting in general. There's a bunch of different things you can do, and one of the things I want to expand upon was fishing. I decided to make a challenge for 100 days, like many other people, but split it up into 4 parts to expand upon my journey. I added a bunch of mods that add new aquatic creatures, hostile and friendly, and that may be able to help me along my way. My goal for this 100-day challenge is to be able to catch in some form of way every single aquatic creature that I can, with either fish tanks or even plats to hang them upon. So, in this 100-day journey, please join me, and I hope you enjoy this with many expansions upon fishing rods, new trinkets, and many aquatic creatures. Now, let's get into the video. Okay. All new recipes. And we are in. What? Oh, this is bison. That did not look the same as Alex's mods. But nice little lake. It's a river region. It says river region as well. Okay. So what is that? I can't tell what that is. I don't know how you do the like zoom thing. That is a snake right there. Is that what that is? Snake shedding. Okay, I understand that. But what's the hole? I'm gonna try not make this guy mad. I'm assuming it says just a grass block. I would say that's like Tim, whatever you want to call it. I'm hoping the bison won't charge me. Maybe. Starting my journey, I was really just understanding the mods that I had installed and familiarizing myself with the surroundings. As you can see, I don't know some of the mods, one being Untamed Wilds. I knew it added a lot more creatures to just the wilds and wanted to see what I could do with them, especially the fish, and see how many I could catch. I want to say catching most, if not all, fish, but I have a couple like I have a mod that adds a fish tank, and then also like almost like a trophy plaque. So maybe not collecting all the fish. Let's see. So it adds like perch, minnows. I know there's other things. I think that one says brown trout over there. But yeah, no, it just adds a lot of different things that. Okay. I'm just gonna sit here for a second, but just listen. Just here. Didn't last as long as I wanted. Big cat. That's not specific. Because if you have a fat cat in your house, that could be considered a big cat. Is that a mountain lion? Well, let's get closer to it. This is a really good idea. That looks like a cougar and or mountain lion. So... Oh, shh! I jumped. I was not expecting that to get up. Holy... yeah. That genuinely scares me. That gave me a pretty good scare, I'll be honest. And it's gonna catch me if it comes on there. And I found the amethyst golem. It's a plenty of golems mod. It has a bunch of them. And yeah, there's the amethyst golem. Okay, so we're gonna... There's a fox over there. we're gonna leave for a little bit because I don't want to die. That's my thing, is why, like, people play hardcore. Nothing against anyone on that. You do you. But I just have no desire to, or oh, it's a lizard. I was hoping it wasn't another, big cat. I have no desire to, for the fact of just, you can't take a risk, it feels like. And, or you can, but it's like, then the consequences, you lose your whole world, yada yada, and just, that's just how I kind of feel on it. And I not to say playing recklessly all the time, because I want to say that I don't play recklessly all the time, but it's just one of those things that's, I like to be able to enjoy my time playing a bit more. What is that? That giant bat? What is that? Okay, spider, go away. What is that? I have no idea what. Should do it? I don't know. That's what I meant. That's Mothman. What was that? What the? What was that? Would I just get moth fur? That was Mothman? I don't even know, like, all about. I thought that was, I don't even know what I thought that was. Let's see if there's the chest. Not jumping lava. Reaper, stay over there. I do not feel bad. Okay. Let's see what that is here in a minute. Oh. Oh, okay, skeleton, there's no need. Oh no. I'm gonna die, aren't I? Yep. As I got in the boat. After dying on the night of day 1, on my trek back to my body, I found a sign leading me to a village, but first, on the morning of day 1, I ended up going back to my corpse, grabbing my stuff, and then heading back to that village afterwards. There's so many creepers. Just gonna sleep, just really quick. Take a day. Out the bed, child. I know it. The balloon stand yet. What is that? What is that? Shrubland region. Okay, so it's this swamp or jungle builders. It's not a corpse? I mean, obviously we're gonna raid it violently, right? This reminds me of almost like a coastal village. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I like it. Oh, it's cool. Really cool, in fact. That stuff's here. Yeah, there's a pillager outpost. No way. Holy, talk about what all else is here. Oh my. Is there a town meeting? Waking up on day 3, I decided to go take a look at the pillager tower that was over in the distance that I found on day 2. Being greeted by the locals, I decided to take them out in a retaliatory statement after they had shot at me. But this is my first advancement made to the Monster Hunter goal, as I was being chased down by more of the locals, if you will. But it was a back and forth fight that I didn't think I'd win, and my first thought was to try and make a shield to defend myself, and later on got shot at, and eventually tried to use a bison as a shield.
How do you make it again? I'm gonna die. Make the bison mad, make the bison mad. 1 point set. Hit a bison, 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 hit a bison. That works. Get him, bison, get him. Good job. Sorry, bison. Oh. Make the snakes mad. Uh-oh. Bisons, don't get mad, don't get mad, don't get mad. Oh. Here on Animal Planet, we are watching 2 American bison in their natural habitat. They have now, after interference with an outside source, they have now begun fighting each other and have been severely damaged in their fight. I don't even know. There we go. That was my best Animal Planet impression. Okay. There you go. You always got it. Day 4. I would like to see how far all this stretches. Because honestly, like, I like the beach right here, but thinking about it, if this is a little island system, it could be cool to do something here. Going free cannon look. I like the idea of making that. Oh, it goes up even farther? Oh, okay. I have a couple different ideas. A bunch of different options I could do with it. I'm just trying to kind of see in over here. Well, there's a lighthouse. Huh. It's cool. I will have to come check. Let me check out the lighthouse first, then I'll explore the ships. Villager, ocean trader. Okay. Turtle sword. Starfish. Sea pickle fruit. On night 4, after exploring the second lighthouse I had found, I explored my first ship, which ended up being a marine ship that they were doing trades for gold. I woke up the captain to see I could get a captain's helmet and ended up staying the night there, but before I did, I went and checked the captain's corner and managed to find my very first diamond of this playthrough. I was excited because it was a good start to the rest of my journey. As I slept and woke up on day 5, I got back out to keep exploring and went to the second ship and managed to glitch through the side and get underneath, which I don't even know how I did, but I got my second diamond, which I was also excited about. This ship ended up being a pirate ship, which was not so bad. I was expecting something else or them to be hostile, but it ended up just being another way to trade for gold. So that was a pretty useful adventure to find this. The rest of day 5 was spent exploring. I went back to the lighthouse that I discovered earlier and used the waystone to be able to teleport back to my original spot. I slept and woke up on day 6 with a boar right next to me. I decided to pack up what things I had and go to the little island region that I had found and made that my base of operations at the moment, but it eventually was my home for the rest of the days. And then, for the rest of day 6, I don't even remember what I did, but day 7 and 8, I woke up and I began building a base. I didn't know quite what I wanted to go for, kind of a beach house, but since there wasn't much sand above the water level, I decided I'd kind of make it freestanding and just make a bunch of connections between walkways, if you will. So I started building the baseboards, and as I did, you can see fish swimming along, so I thought it'd be cool to see them swimming underneath my house.
I want to make it a good distance and just be able to stretch across. I didn't know what I was going for, being completely honest. I just made a large stretch and a small pad and figured we'd go from there. But a beach house is a beach house and it's Minecraft. Make what you want. So that's what I did, and it eventually turns out into a giant rectangle. But it's home, it works, and we'll see how it goes. As we go along through these first 25 days, you'll see added there's multiple points where I hop on and off, and some of it is just throughout my day hopping on and off the game, or it is just me adding more mods that may be utilities, or I see something that actually looks interesting that I want to add. As you can see, I managed to find a minor soul, which I gained one more level of fortune, which I thought was perfect. I ended up wanting to go on a mining adventure, so I trekked a little bit farther and went to a ravine I'd seen nearby. So I had a vein miner installed, which made mining much more easier, and I just went to town in this ravine. I will leave again in the game here soon, and you'll see a much better just visual, if you will, because I wanted shaders. I had never really done them before, but I went, you know what, why not? Especially with water, if I'm going to be fishing a lot, I'd like the water to look nice. And two, you can just hold a torch and you don't have to place a bunch of them down. But I go back and forth between a bunch of different ones and eventually decide on the miniature shaders, I'm pretty sure. But I wanted to see what looked best, how just me personally I liked it, and some of them you can tell there's key difference in what looks better, if something glows, looks more realistic, and just I believe miniature shaders worked best for me, and it's what I liked. Maybe it wasn't miniature shaders, but I don't even know. But the mining adventure continues, and I wanted to get a bunch of ore while it was still early in the playthrough, and I'm not trekking back a bunch because it's fishing for 100 days, not stuck in a ravine for 100 days. And I know mining can be tedious, so I kind of left out a bunch of the parts of me running back and forth. One of the things I do love is the orichalcum, as I'm pretty sure how you pronounce it, is a thing I plan to use later on as maybe a decorative, and it almost looks like a crystal type thing. As you can see, I ended up coming home and slept, and if you saw the screen go gray, it's not you or anything else. I threw on a zombie head, not realizing that's what it had done, and came back home and immediately took it off. But went in and found this buried treasure, found it first try, and got a pretty good haul. So I'm calling it a win, and I enjoyed the sunset. Day 10 and 11 was really just spent building. I had decided to use coconut planks for my entire build and managed to finish up an entire base. I used the construction wand to help me. As you can see, I ended up doing some fishing, which that's part of this. So just enjoy and watch the sunrise with me. The rest of day 12 was spent fishing, and if you can't see, it says you need 6 more XP or however. Well, one of the things I got was fishing upgrades, where the more XP you got, the more levels and other things you got to your fishing rod. And as you can hear me talking in the background, which I know I'm talking over myself, there's unique fish things you can get. one of them being spawn aids for fish, and that is the most I've gotten from it. But with the fishing upgrades, that's something you can get more common, and like this. So, getting more fishing rods from fishing, and I can even get in more enchanted boats than what you would know. But getting fishing 1, just better fishing, really, to say the least. Day 13 was then spent building my walls and the corners of my base. I didn't know how I wanted to use the coconut blocks, but I ended up stripping them and then replacing them later. If you couldn't see, I had made a little bit of a dock, and I believe it was shown later, or earlier I should say, and I made it up and around, which I plan to expand upon later. I ended up finding a rose bulb anemone. There we go. And at this time, I didn't know they were poisonous if you ran into them, but I ended up picking it up and it didn't do anything to me. I was very indecisive when making this, but between oak for the walls or coconut for the walls, I ended up choosing oak. I like the difference of the baseboard compared to the walls, and I wanted that to be different to where you could kind of tell. I don't know why I chose that, but kind of went with it. But for it, I wanted to make stairs go up and around and then have the glass look nice and just kind of work with it. I don't even know, not a great builder, but we went with it. As you can see the particle effects, I got a trinket that adds fertilizer wherever I walk, so it makes plants grow faster. I was out of oak and need to add more, so I just tried it. I don't even know. But this is what I love the most. The blue and red lobster. That was it. No. I love the glass. It being connected made it look amazing, and just having that glass underneath, which you can see now, I ended up expanding upon to make it bigger. Day 15. Even more building. You know, just a day of fishing, and we're building the rest. But to me, these are more menial tasks, if you will, and I wanted to kind of get them out of the way. So I figured, let's make a base first, and I'll kind of fish here and there. I figured rainy days fish, and other days not. But, as you can see, I decided to make a little stepping stone path going over this one waterway, which would eventually get changed around a little bit. And then I wanted to add some shoji doors, which are just sliding paper doors. I hope I pronounced that right. I ended up liking it a lot, being a beach house setting, and just kind of went with it. But really, the whole entire house was an experiment, and if you're a builder, good for you. I suck, and I apologize. Day 16, having rain, it was time to fish, and I just got a lot more stuff from it, and you'll see. One of the things I managed to fish up was a villager fishing rod, which it ended up giving me luck. I didn't know this at the time, but I had to run away from the phantoms and sleep because the past couple of nights I was either fishing or building. Making these trophy plats for these fish I was really excited for because it was one of the things I wanted to do. I really liked the look of the display of the different fish. And I managed to get my first enchanted book from fishing. Doing this, there's different rarity levels that you can see. And doing that, I was able to get better books like mending and other stuff later on, or ones that give me the ability to get unusual fish. It's one of the mods I have to add more to it, and you can now fish them up with an enchantment. One of my favorite things is, like with the jellyfish swimming through, you get to see them, and I just love that experience. The night of day 17 was a lot more terraforming with sand. I dug a bunch up and put it up and around. Now I was attempting to move all my stuff from outside inside. I don't know if any of this is copyrighted. I think it's Zelda music I had put on, but I made a flute, so that's kind of why I'm talking over it. But it was just a music mod I had found. I was bored. So if this gets copyrighted, that's why you'll just hear me talking over it. But now I'm playing Drunken Sailor. Kinda just had a little moment to myself playing music. But we'll see. Now, more of day 18 was expanding my dock outward. I wanted to go out every 3 blocks, and on the 4th block have a post. Doing this, I would manage to go out into a bit deeper ocean, which Minecraft wise I know it doesn't matter, but I liked it. It was away from my home and just going out and having a designated spot to fish. I did really enjoy the building process because while I did it like you saw from the jellyfish beforehand, Atlantic herrings and many other fish swam by while I did this. And I kind of went back and forth on the design, but here you can see so far where I've gotten with my base. I have a pier going out and a walking dock on the other side. The night of day 18, I fished a little bit on my brandly new constructed dock. That was a lot of words at once, so maybe just had a small stroke. Don't know. But I got a sneap sorp, if you pronounced that right, and I thought I was having a stroke before. Welcome to the unusual fish mod. But day 19 was filled with more exploring. I decided to go away from my home and go explore some nearby rivers. I came across a little pillager outpost that I immediately got attacked by some of the locals. So, trying to equip my shield, I started looting it and started fighting back a little bit. Making it to the top floor, I ended up finding a trap delay, which I eventually set free, but it was your basic loot you would get from your average pillager tower, I believe. But I got a blaze nucleus, which would help with fire damage reduction. I can't speak, but here we are. I also had a mod that allows me to fish in the nether. So there's now fish in the nether, and I forgot about this. I gave the allay my pickaxe. That looks wrong. I'm seeing that now. Maybe that's why I left it in. Anyways, let's jump out of a tower. Back to what I was even talking about. There's now fish in the nether. You can get, I think it's like an obsidian rod. You can now fish there. That's something I'd like to do in the future, or however if I get to it. I got more enchanted books, and got a power 3, and one with backstabbing 3, efficiency 5, and one of the others. I couldn't read it in time. But that's how good this is. That's why I like it, because you're not sitting there going back and forth trying to get enchantments. You're fishing for 100 days and getting those resources. I decided to fish out some river fish and got a blind sailfish. And really just explored the rivers and thought I found a cute little guy. As you can see, he's really not. Destroying my boat, I found out root balls are not your friends. They're a disguised creeper that look like grass. I thought he was going to be nice. He was not. Here we are, I'm fighting zombies and trying to get my stuff back. The explosions seem to be a common trend, I feel like, but finding another root ball, I knew to stay away. Finding another signpost, I was able to find another village, and actually ended up being two villages. They really weren't that far away from each other, and this one coming up was buried inside the mountain, to say the least. I really liked the look. It was a very tiered village, and just the world generation, if you will, looked cool. So, day 19 was spent exploring the village, and as you can see there, it looked pretty cool. But kind of a pain to trek up and around on and try to get to the different spots. But then it plateaued up at the top, and I was eventually able to make my way up there. But before I could do that, ran into some complications. Running into a witch. Didn't think it'd be that bad. But the witch was not the deciding factor. Getting poisoned, I tried to escape, no milk or anything else, and really didn't want to waste a golden apple on it, and thought I'd be fine. I'll let you watch the rest. You heard it here first, folks. I hit the ground too hard. A little upset by the trick I'd have to make back. I then set back out, got my stuff, and explored the rest of the village, and almost ran into a grizzly bear. Trying to not wake him up, he eventually woke up and started chasing after me. Ended up freaking out a little bit, and felt like what happened earlier was repeating itself, and maybe a common trend. I then explored this little oak village, and just enjoyed the surroundings and the serenity that I had to finally be safe. Really wasn't much to it, but I ended up finding that they had a little chicken coop, and there was now chicken nest to it where they would lay eggs in, which naturally generated. While returning to my boat, a little greeby decided to hop into my boat. I destroyed my boat again. Not with an explosion. Then another one commandeered my vessel. I felt bad. At the same time, little annoying. Maybe I'll get one as a pet later for reconciliation. That's a big word. Anyways, we went back out on a trip, went more upstream, and there ended up being a cold ocean more to the north. I decided to save it for later and use my free cam to kind of explore more that way. But I ended up continuing more east or west, whichever way that was, to go explore the rest of the river. I did manage to see a whale and a couple manatees that were swimming about. Thinking it'd be a good adventure for later and seeing what else there would be, I saved it for another time and continued upstream. Thankful I decided to save the ocean with a full inventory, I went and explored this village. Ended up having a waystone when I walked in, so I was able to teleport back to my house and deposit my stuff back in my chest. I then went back and found a structure for Farmer's Delight. I wanted to get the rich soil to be able to grow more crops later on and have a better yield with it. I figured I'd save that for later and eventually get a farm set up, but it definitely wasn't a top priority, so it may get done later than I'd like. The first lighthouse I had seen ended up having a lot of buckets. Jumping off my boat, I managed to get a Japanese giant salamander. This was one of the ways I'd be able to catch a bunch of the creatures if I wasn't able to put them in fish tanks or on plats. So, the option was to jump off my boat and go grab them. Making my way to the ocean, there was a lot more here than I thought there would be, and I figured I'd take my shot at just killing a bunch of fish with a sword. Something I wanted to do is maybe make a spear and try to go spear fishing with it. I don't know how well that will work, but we're going to try it and see. There's a bunch of different spears you can make, and I wanted to see what I could do with that. This ended up being a lot bigger ocean than what I thought it would be, and ended up taking quite a bit of time to explore the amount that I did. There's orcas, manatees, whales, a bunch of different things being in a larger ocean biome. I didn't know if I'd be able to interact with them or if they were just there more of to look at. But some of them you can interact, but just enjoying the view of them, seeing them swimming around, it was really majestic. And just watching a manatee spin around in front of me. So if you made it this far, if you may have watched previous videos, no they're not that many, and no they're not that great, I apologize. As you can tell, I promise I don't have a speech impediment or anything. Maybe I do. I don't know. But I get caught up on words or other things. If it's hard hearing me, I apologize. I may try to add some sort of subtitle or something. Bear with me. I just hope you can enjoy the adventure with me and just kind of see where it takes us. Jumping onto this marine boat while then we're sleeping. Earlier I had thought about it, now thinking about it again. Felt a lot like One Piece, which is a mod I could do in the future. But, thankful that I'm not a pirate, the Marines really didn't care that much about me. But, the other pirates really didn't care that much either. I think it'd be a fun adventure, but granted I don't think the sea would be the best place for me to be swimming. Coming across a whale just swimming around in the open ocean, I came across a little structure. And looking at the different fish that were up and around in the large ocean, it was really cool to see the difference coming from a more warm ocean and a bit more shallow to the rivers to eventually this bigger ocean. I didn't know what I found. It was called the Cage, and it was part of Awesome Dungeon Ocean. I wanted to add more to the ocean and not be land bound or anything else, and figured that add more, maybe do some piracy later on, and just kind of work with it. I thought there would be more here, there ended up not being that much, and then I made shears to try and gather coral to bring back to my house. Completely forgot how to grab it, which I'm pretty sure it's Silk Touch. Couldn't remember at the time and thought shears was how you collected coral. What is that? So the main trees are noticing everything, but take around coral. I'd say it's probably a type of crab, but I don't know. They can grow. Oh. Okay, that's actually really cool for telling them just for informational purposes. The little muffled I don't even know what I said there. Actually, I do. I said we're killing them for scientific purposes. Why I couldn't get that out, I don't even know. The worker kill. I don't know. I didn't even do anything. Was that worker's life? I'm trying to protect me. How do you... Oh, those shears. No? No. Come on. Workers might. Okay. Be granted a blessing from the wild orca. I remember that's there. Probably won't.
Was it kind of like dolphin? Maybe? There's some angler fish. There's some blue here, that's great. Cool angler. Was that the game? Oh, hell. Huh. Oh. I'm catching one. That one. Creepy though. Hmm. No. It's just a shark. Catch it. Perfect.
There's a couple shipwrecks in the ocean that I wanted to explore, and one of them had these little skelly bone swordfish, if you will. I ended up fighting him, and him having a black flag meant that I don't know if he's a leader, whatever, something with it. I think they can drop the black flag, not quite for sure, and I ended up getting one of their bones. Wasn't that much of an interesting fight, but something caught my eye closer by. There ended up being a frilled shark nearby that I wanted to go grab, and managed to pick him up.
Please let me catch it. Please let me catch it. Please let me catch it. Don't eat me. Ah.
I really loved the little design of the frilled shark in the bucket. His tail sticking out and just his little teeth. Really ended up enjoying that. Then I went for the shipwreck next. It had a lot of good resources in it and ended up having a globe from supplementaries in it. So I was really excited to have that. Thought it'd be a cool addition to the house, or maybe even making a ship of my own and adding the globe to it. I also found another trinket that'd be really good for fighting mobs later on and or bosses that I may end up encountering, being that it lets me stay alive a little bit longer and gives me immunity. With the different ships and many different dungeons that are above water, like the massive ships, or underwater that get submerged, I didn't know what I'd quite run into, so I figured stocking up on trinkets while I could would be great, and especially more combat related ones that could help me in the future.
Uh-oh. Yep, there it is. Oh no, that's there. Another ocean monument? Holy. Cool.
Coming across this ship, I didn't know what I was in for, but it ended up being a zombie pirate ship, which was overrun with vines and moss. The zombies ended up just going right off the edge and into the water, and sinking. I didn't have to deal with them. So I let them all jump overboard and went and looted the ship. I didn't know, with being a zombie ship, if there'd be better supplies to it or anything else. But the theme of it was really cool, and just getting to explore it. I liked the abandoned aspect and having the difference of alive versus dead crews. Getting my third diamond was amazing, or fourth, second, whatever one I'm on. Now that's 3. Okay, so I think I have 5 because there's 2 over. I'm looking at this now, so bear with me. But getting more diamonds was always a plus, and I just kind of want to stockpile right now, as I mentioned before. Trading out my iron sword, I then jumped back off and just kept sailing around.
Puppy cobblestone. I can fly. Let's test this. You gonna hurt me? As I get closer to it, I don't know.
To explain really quick earlier, when I said I could fly, a trinket is ethereal wings, and you can fly around. It's more of a levitation, like when you get hit by a shulker orb. I found a mossy waystone that I loved the look of, and was able to look how far I'd really traveled after making it to this mushroom island.
Wait, is this the... Oh, what the ethereal wings do? Really?
Before getting back to base, the rest of day 23 was spent exploring the surroundings. There's a little encampment, if you will, with reptile guys from Critters and Cryptids mod, and they're snake people is what they're called. I did not know this, but in their little enclosure, there was one above ground that had a bunch of terracotta and a bunch of iron blocks. So I was able to use that terracotta and a bunch of iron I had found to end up making like the fish tanks and the botany pots, which I put trees in so I'd have an active source of just wood. As you can see, I placed a squid and a king crab into the fish tank, along with the giant salamander. I don't know how the tanks work the greatest, but it's more of a trial and error. Another mod I downloaded later onto this playthrough was storage drawers. Love them, they're amazing. Using this for the botany pots, I was able to store a lot more of my wood and other things. And if you can't see on the JEI menu, there are ships. I want to try to build some later and make a type of just fishing vessel. I don't even know. We'll kind of see when we get there. As you can see, it does say day 25 and 26. I ended up going a little over, not realizing my day count or necessarily paying attention. But day 26 was really just finishing up, showing kind of where I was at, or maybe I was fully on day 26. I don't know. A lot towards the end was setting up stuff for the next 25 days, which would be part 2 of 4. I wanted to get resources set up and a bunch of other things.
Is 100 days as fish pen, so upstairs.
If you didn't hear me, I said it was 100 days of fishing. So the rest of day, night 25, and part of day 26 was just spent fishing. I just want to see what else I could get before my timer kind of ended and just kind of go with it. As you can see, jellyfish and different lobsters just swam by, and it was just more time to relax. Mending! Woo! That's a really good book. Sharpness 5, Efficiency 5, and Mending. Probably the best thing would be like cats for that. If you couldn't tell by my sped up reaction, I was really excited to get where I did with the enchanted books, and figured I'd just do a lot more enchanting come the next 25 days. And I was glad to get the different, the unusual fish and other things. And the last little bit, I decided to expand my boardwalk a little bit more. I figured I would have it wrap all the way up and around my base to just kind of go where I want and expand where I could. So that's really kind of where we ended off with. Okay, technically day 26, but we're gonna go ahead and do this. So, day 25. This is base so far. This will be a 4-part series that is just 100 days, but makes it easier for me to edit, and just, yeah. Makes it easier for me to edit it, get it out, and just a bit faster, I guess to say. So, yeah. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This is my first part of the 100-day series. And, yeah. I don't have much else. Thank you so much. And remember, please like and subscribe. The support means a lot. Thank you.